and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Bangers Sports Part Podcast, episode 22. Shout out to the person who commented last episode and said that my intros are very skippable and I am very annoying.
Try to skip that. You can.
I told him I was like, I'm going to try and be extra annoying next episode for that person.
Listen, I don't blame them. Like, I want to skip you right now, and we're on the podcast together.
Well,
so
I am joined by the illustrious co-host, Mr.
Roy picking and punching.
Mr. Sean Bradley from Picking and Punching Cards, and Greg Ostertag from American Arbitrage Cards.
Yeah, Osty, baby.
And I
love it.
am
Kansas, Jayhawk.
Villanueva from Over the Years Sports.
Are you Charlie Villanueva, really? I love that.
Matthew Dellavedova.
Oh, Dellavedova, okay.
You're not starting a damn episode playing this damn game, and you snuck it in the. I'll give you an A for execution, but an F
Carrick
failure.
Felix. Carrick Felix.
No, absolutely. You couldn't even say it without laughing because I
had somebody else on the tip of my tongue who I thought fit you better, and it just I forgot what it was, and I remember it now. So I am joined by Ozzy Canseco from Picking and Punching Cards.
Yeah. Fake Canseco.
Canseco. Oh yes, there I am. Fake.
He was at the show in Tampa. Did you go to? You didn't go to the fairground show, did you?
I did go to the fairground show. That's where I found the 10-cent
Did you
box.
see Jose Canseco there?
I did not. I think he was there on Saturday. And a Friday or Saturday he was there. And then, bro, first off, I got to talk about this card show. I'm adding that to the list. We'll talk about it a little bit later on. But, exciting week, man. Tim, you're about to celebrate your very first Father's Day.
I am, yes.
Yeah,
and
dude.
I listen, there is a card show in Greencastle, Pennsylvania, and it is on Father's Day. But I don't think I'm going to be able to swindle it. So I'm going to have to do Saturday shows only this weekend.
You got to just bring the baby, bring the wife, make it a family
Well,
trip.
I think we're having people come over and we're going to
bring them all.
Grill and all that stuff. So
bring the grill.
Well, with that being said, so on a serious note,
tailgate card shows. Why are there no tailgates at card shows?
A card show. That's a great idea.
So the card show I just went to, they actually had food trucks outside. So technically, people were almost eating and having drinks outside the actual event.
Dude,
so
food and drink is a must at card shows.
Yeah.
But I don't know about alcohol though, because that reminds me of like those fancy auctions that give you wine so that you'll bid more.
Well,
you got to be careful with alcohol. Yeah,
don't drink and bid.
Exactly,
bro. When I took my wife to get our wedding ring, I remember we let her go pick it out and stuff like that. They gave me beer, they gave her champagne, and then we're walking through, and then next thing I know, I had a second beer. She had more champagne, and then next thing I know, I'm spending thousands of dollars or more.
Shotgun and beer.
It's not a good idea. All right.
Well, Dawn was happy that we had beer at National.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
I don't drink,
keep
so I'm okay.
Happy.
But if you give me one too many Diet Dr. Peppers, I may go wild.
I mean, I ate those tacos at National almost. After I found the tacos, I was on the tacos for the rest of the trip. Those tacos at National were crack.
Once we found the secret bathroom.
Oh, that was the best. We need to get everybody who watches No Bangers podcast, tag National and tell them to talk to Cary, Tim, and Rod because we need to get in a National just for the bathroom passes.
Exactly. We're trying to get our media passes. I got them last year. But they changed management or whatever. So who knows? If you're listening, National, help us out.
Yes, because the bathrooms at National at Cleveland. So I've never been to Chicago. I've been in Atlantic City. I've been to Cleveland.
You had to this is a question. This is just a human question, guys. Plug your ears if you need to. Have you ever had to take a number 2 at the National? That's got to be. At the National in Cleveland, that would have been a lot of pressure with people just waiting in line, and you're just
especially if you didn't have the backstage passes to the bathroom back there.
Who's taking number 2?
I would just be diapering up at the National if that was how I had to do it.
I'm sure there's probably people at National.
There's probably people who do it.
1,000%.
Oh, absolutely, man.
I mean, Rod, you're there all day. You got to take. Listen, I took dumps every morning. That was my go-to move before we went. Even if I didn't have to go, I was I talked myself into it. I was dude, you got to get this done now.
You were the sphincter whisperer, and you just made it happen.
So
we could say that, right?
Dude,
let's get focused.
Hold on, I have something very serious to actually say, and this is the worst transition ever. To
No,
go
do
into
it.
This, okay?
Do it.
But no, so this goes out to a viewer, all right, viewer of the channel here. Your daughter has reached out to us. Her name is Rihanna Nicole, and she reached out to us back in April, and she said to us that her dad, Ryan Edenfield, yes, he said that her dad, Ryan Edenfield, he's won a couple of the No Bangers giveaways in the past year. He has his own painting business called Midwest Painting, and she is leaving for college this year. So this is going to be her last Father's Day with her dad before she heads off to college, and she just wants to give a shout out to one of our most supportive followers. Your daughter wants to wish you the happiest Father Day. So hopefully, Tim, when your son grows older, you can have your son's awesome, just like Ryan's daughter is. All right. So I want to get that out there. Yeah. Happy Father's Day, Ryan.
Father's Day, Ryan.
And make sure you guys go get your paint from or get your paint jobs from Midwest Paints.
Let's get it right. What's the name of it?
Oh, Rod is just dropping the ball.
Rod, dude. Wow. Okay, we just got to talk about random stuff then. If Rod's not.
Yeah.
Let's just do names. I'm gonna go. Gosh, let me do Rick Brocious. No, that's not right. Scott Brocious.
Scott Brocious. That's a good one. What about BJ Surhoff?
Ooh, that's a good one. How about I always think of Pat Burrell. Yeah, I can hear you, but calm down.
Jeff Conine.
Jeff Conine's good. Cliff Floyd, dude. That dude was a masher.
Oh, JJ Hardy.
Ooh, JJ Hardy is pretty good. Let's do Bill Hall. Played for the Ogden Raptors back in the day.
Mookie. There's got to be another Mookie.
You guys got
out
away with
there
that because I was muted. My audio switched to my laptop.
Pookie Reese. Remember Pookie Reese?
I know you guys are playing the stupid name game, weren't you? No, we're not. Dude, listen. The people do not want to hear you idiots sitting there just saying random names.
I just rang off like 3 Orioles from the 90s.
I couldn't hear anything, so I'm pumped about this. All right, I'm actually pumped. Now, Tim, are you surprised that Cary showed up today?
Why? Oh,
whoa, he's pretty famous these days.
Famous.
I mean, Jeffrey Hammonds. I was thinking of another Oriole from the 90s.
I love Jeffrey Hammonds. He was
okay. Go ahead. Sorry, guys.
No, Cary's pretty famous, man. Cary was featured on the top social media website this week.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know I was featured until like an hour and a half, 2 hours after it was posted. Somebody's like, "Congrats on the tops thing," and I'm like,
"Yeah, you found the none of none."
Yeah, I found the none of none. That was pretty funny. Huh?
Did the Pope reach out to you trying to get your nun card?
Yeah, exactly. That would be cool. Like I would trade for one of those white smoke parallels. I would trade it for sure. Those are fire.
Have you valued that card at all yet?
I don't even know. Honestly, I talked about it in my video that's releasing today. It's going to be releasing on Monday now because we're putting this out on Wednesday. But I'm going to send it to SGC. People got me spooked enough. I'm 99.9% sure it's legit because they do hand number their cards. It is glossy on the front, I believe. So I'm just going to send it to SGC. I don't care about the grade. I just want them to come back and let me know it's authentic and everything,
legit,
100%,
authentic.
so that I can flip it.
Why SGC over PSA?
Time. I don't want to wait 6 months.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, I don't care about the grade. Really. I mean, if it comes back a 4, I guess that would suck. But
at that point, you can just crack it and know that it's real.
Yeah, I'll just be like, here it was. It's authentic, and I'm going to take it out. Wait, no, but yeah, that wouldn't work either. But
but it's also a 101 though. So then at that point in time, it doesn't really matter what the grade is to a point,
Yeah.
She can deal the pitches too. Did you see her first pitch?
Yeah, she was bouncing it off her.
Bounced it off the arm. Had some nice drop to the.
That was
the
classic look at the back of the card thing that we always talk about at the bargain boxes. I just flipped around. I don't even know why I did it. Because I knew in the back of my head some of those can be numbered, but I just flipped it around and it was 101. I was like, what the? It's on film. I'm like showing him. I'm like, you know what you got in here, dude? You might want to put that online. And then he still gave it to me at a deal. So
that gets me thinking. So if you guys were going to get cards,
yeah, that was like a Brit. He's a No Bangers podcast fan too.
Yeah.
And honestly, I probably would have done. I mean, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would. I just felt that's what I should do. And he was didn't care. So.
We have a relationship with him too. We have dealt with him in the past, and he's reached out to me multiple times about different stuff. So big shout out to Tom. He had his
first show, Big Tom, on
first show.
Dibdit Cards.
Dibdit Cards too, man. Speaking of
that was
cards,
him. You got it from Big Tom.
Yeah, that was from Big Tom.
Shout out Big Tom. Oh, before we go any further, shout out. I got to do a couple of shout outs. Okay. Shout out to Welker Cards. Okay. Welker Cards. I was doing a live stream and they wanted a lot of cards, so I put together a lot for them. Shot My Boxes. Shout out Cary. Cary did his first Shot My Box show. Fun. So he was like, I gave him a price, and he was like, okay, deal, but make sure you give me a shout out on No Banger Sports Card Podcast. So big shout out to Welker Cards, big time supporter, not just of the podcast, but what we do collectively and individually. So shout out Welker Cards. Also,
Welker.
Here's an interesting one. So Cary, I don't know if you remember this. Last year at National, we ran into a gentleman and his son made custom cards. And he made us custom. He gave us some. I still have mine to this day. So maybe about a month ago, I was doing a live stream, and I was going through my PC box, and I pulled that card out that he had gave me, his son, and I was like, this was a gift from somebody from National last year who made this custom card, and the guy was in the chat and was like, "That was my son. That was me that you met." And so now I've put two and two together, and they've been buying some cards for me, and they're on Dibdit Cards now also. And they have a YouTube channel called BPL. I don't want to mess this up. BPL Sports Cards, I think, in collectibles. BPL Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're on YouTube. So everybody, do me a favor, go subscribe to them. Awesome guy. Cary got to meet him and the son also last year at National.
Super cool people.
It was just kind of interesting how that all came full circle like that. It's just like the power of the community of cards. Like we always talk about all the bad stuff. So sometimes it's important to like have moments like these so that we remember why we do what we do. So big shout out BPL.
National is a great time to kind of meet a lot of people that I mean, we put out videos, we see the views, and we see screen names over and over again, but it's cool to actually meet people in person, and then sometimes like just to put a screen name to a person, right? And then it's still like I have to meet somebody like 2 or 3 times before I can start transitioning their screen name to their actual name.
Except for me. I'm one of those guys, like, once you meet me, there's no way you forget.
No, you're unforgettable. There's a song about it.
Also, Bodega Finds.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bodega Finds, the first lady of Dibdit Cards. Okay. Yes. She did her first pack break, non-sports card pack break on Dibdit Cards recently. And she is trying to get to 50 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you guys go subscribe to Bodega Cards with a Z. Go show some love to her. She's going to be doing some more non-sport pack breaks along with Ginger King Cardum Ginger
King Cardum. Ginger Card Kingdom.
Card Kingdom. Words are tough. Tim.
I love that. No, that was a good one. I've never heard that.
They have the best merch on the block. I got a coaster from Ginger King Card Kingdom. And I use this all the time. So like I love people who give me like merch or stuff like that I actually use. So this is like my official like live stream card sale.
That's true. Make
coaster.
Merch that people are going to use. Like put some stickers on a MacBook or something and hand them out. People will use the heck out of your merch or whatever. Yes. I don't know. You in between or more expensive. I don't know, like a private jet, whatever.
I think I nailed all of the shout outs I was supposed to do. So yeah, shout out to everybody.
Speaking about merchandise, so we talk about how we're doing the patch cards, like UFC first patch, stuff like that. Have you guys heard what UFC is doing now?
No.
On the actual mats. So on the mat, like during the actual event, they have a spot that says your name here. So you can literally have your name printed on the UFC mat where they fight on the mat, and then they cut that thing off, and then they send it to you after the
much?
The match. I don't know. I'm assuming it's thousands to do that.
But
they literally have a spot.
Yeah, dude.
Either no bangers or Dibdit Cards. Maybe like one of the two has to go on there.
Might have to be shopcommons.net if we're being honest.
Somebody get in touch with our agent, Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker.
We may need a small loan.
But how crazy is that? Like we talk about like having the patches put in our cards, and now you can get your name on the actual mat. So I thought it was kind of a cool concept. Kind of goes hand in hand. Dope. Like with what we're doing here, like imagine that for boxing and wrestling events going forward. Can you imagine like for football games or like maybe on the pylon or like?
Yeah, I don't think they need it in the NFL, but
no, but I'm just saying they don't
Yeah,
need
I
a
want
UFC either.
more sponsorships just on the field, on the uniforms. I want less uniform, less logos, more sponsors.
Exactly.
I agree with Rod.
Yes, yes.
Oh, we have a break tonight on dibditcards.com, don't we?
Yeah, yes, we're actually doing this. I'm breaking Series 2 tonight, my friend.
Oh,
Series
nice.
2 baseball.
Exciting, man.
Yeah, so we got I did order a case. And yes, had it sent to the house here, so we got that. So we'll be here the day of the break. So when you guys watch this, go bid in your teams. We're gonna do back-to-back breaks. The ones have already ended from the day before, but then we're had the second break that's gonna be ending tonight. So you guys go bid in your favorite teams. Do that. Also, too, we got a lot of breaking news on there. I mean, no pun intended when I say that. We did our first Pokemon break last week. Pacific Picker did a really good job, so he's gonna be doing a Pokemon break this week as well. We have Dave, ADH Dave's doing a bunch of non-sports breaks on there.
Bro, can we talk about how crazy this guy Dave is? Like, it's just he just walks into the
Did
hobby.
you hear what happened last night? So he's on my other podcast, Trash to Cash. He pulled an 11 auto out of his personal Stranger Thing rip after I left his house last night because it was his daughter's birthday. We were hanging out, and he was like, "I got all these boxes. I might rip one." And then he did, and then he got an 11 numbered to 86 auto worth like $400 out of his box.
No, that thing's worth more than that. I think a lot more.
Probably,
than that,
but like
yeah.
it's that dude's on a heater.
Dude,
I tried to tell him it's gonna end, and you're gonna have like some bad
So
weeks.
the people that don't know about ADHD,
doesn't get it yet.
Yeah, he's a picker that has crossed over. We finally got him after many years of hanging out of me and Cary and going to buying cards. He would give me and Cary all the cards he found, and now all of a sudden he got interested in Stranger Things cards. And this is what we tell you how important it is to get your kids and your family members or other people involved is you have to find that gateway drug. I don't want to call it a drug, but I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Relax, pump the brakes, all right, relax. But he opened his first box of Stranger Things, pulled an autograph, and he was hooked. Now he's doing weekly non-sports breaks on there. He did Marvel. He put a Chris Pratt autograph to 25. Like, what?
My guy opened a box of Christmas Story. Like, who's opening Christmas Story? And he pulls a one-of-one printing.
Two of them. He pulled two one-of-ones in that box.
Are you kidding me?
I think he only opened one. He had a sketch one-of-one, I think. I think it was a one-of-one sketch, that, and an auto, all in one box.
Yeah.
And a printing plate.
Absolutely insane. So, like, crazy stuff. Also, too, we just opened a brand new category in there for sports pack breaks that we're going to be doing, where we have a hobby box. Like we have, I got a case of the UFC Topps Chrome. So that's coming in at the end of the month. We'll be doing a hobby box rip on that. Get 2 autographs per box. That would be fun. We have Marvel Topps Chrome coming in. We're doing that pack box break on there. So we got a lot of cool things. So make sure you guys go check it out. Also, don't forget to check out the static listings on there. There's a lot of great cards on there for super cheap that you guys can go in there and go bid on that stuff. So I think that's a pretty good there.
Okay.
Speak about pickups this weekend, though.
Before we do pickups.
Binder. Oh, okay.
Before we do pickups, I'm going to talk about my pickup, my random pickup. It has to do with mussels, raisins, and Pokemon.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
So I went to the card show on Saturday, right? And on my way home, I get the message from the wife, and she says, I was really expected you to be back by now. I need to go to Safeway to get mussels because we were having company come over. So I was like, ugh. So I said, the obvious answer here is...
you meant like mussels, like the food?
Yeah, the food.
I thought you meant like raw or something.
No, not like raw, no. So I
Tim does look like the guy that needs muscles, so it would make sense that he was trying to pick up muscles.
I said, do you want me to just stop by Safeway on the way home and pick up mussels? She's like, yes, pick up 3 pounds of mussels, a bouquet of flowers, and a bag of ice. So I'm like, okay. Stop by the Safeway. I get the mussels, which sucks too because they have the mussels inside like a mesh bag that they can't open up. So I couldn't get 3 mussels. It was either 2.5 pounds or 4.5 pounds of mussels. Obviously, you want to get the 4.5 pounds. You don't want to short the wife, right? So I got 4.5 pounds of mussels. I check out. As I'm walking out, I notice there is a Pokemon vending machine inside the Safeway.
Really?
So I'm like, okay, let me just take a peek. So I open it up, the touch screen, and it's like everything's sold out. So I'm like, okay, well, I sent you guys a video of it. So I go home. I'm upstairs unpacking all my cards from the card show, and I can hear my wife and my mother-in-law downstairs going crazy. So I go downstairs, and they're like, these mussels are bad. And I'm like, okay. And the people are coming over. So like, they're like freaking out. Like, what do we do? We're cooking steak and mussels. So now I'm gonna have to do steak and shrimp. And so I have like call Safeway. They're like, yeah, you got to bring them back. So the mussels were like opened. If you know, you don't want open mussels. And they smelled awful. And on the mesh bag, it said best by June 2nd. So I'm like, so I got to drive 20 minutes to go bring the mussels back. While I'm bringing the mussels back, my wife texts me and she's like, I need you to buy raisins. I'm like, what are we doing? It took me 20 minutes to find raisins in a grocery store. Like, if you had to find raisins, what aisle are raisins in?
Like probably where like the almonds are. Like where the almonds are, maybe?
That's what I was thinking, you know?
Like,
so I'm
like
walking
little
around.
Small snacks.
Couldn't find the damn raisins. Finally found the raisins. So I go pay for the raisins.
Where were they?
They were on the end aisle of the cleaning supplies.
Yeah, obviously that makes
sense.
Dude, I would listen to you just read the telephone book to me. It's just so entertaining, Tim.
So I check out with the raisins. Yeah, as I'm walking by the Pokemon machine, there's a guy there, and he's just shooting out boxes of Pokemon out of the vending machine. And I'm like, dude, I was just here like an hour ago, and it all said sold out. He's like, oh, well, yeah, it does it random times. So that somebody can't just come in and buy all of the inventory.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that they have got there at the right time. He's buying all the random inventory?
Well, no, because it only lets you buy a certain amount of each product. So he got like a box of 151 and a box of like prismatic evolutions or something like that. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Two of the hottest boxes right now.
Yeah. So then he's like, yeah, you could try it now if you want. And I was like, okay. So I tried it, and it only had 2 things available. And one of the things available was a pack of Scarlet and Violet Destined Rivals. This is the brand new one, right?
Stuff, yeah.
Brand new release, yes.
And so the guy was like, yeah, if you don't want to buy it, I'm going to buy it. And I was like, well, I guess I should buy it, right? I mean, I'm here after all of this confusion. So, like, I bought a pack of Destined Rivals out of the Pokemon vending machine because I had to bring back bad muscles. So
there we go.
I'm assuming there's a big hit in here after all of that, right?
So you're going to rip it on your channel, and then we can watch.
I am going to open it. The guy at the vending machine was like, you have to open it, though. And I was like, okay. He was like, I'm going to follow you on Instagram.
He's setting rules up for it. That's kind of messed up.
So the guy was really
was
cool.
he opening everything? Was he?
Yeah, he was like showing me his hits on his phone and everything from like stuff that he recently
then that's
opened.
Fair then, I guess.
So can you drop that today on Wednesday?
I guess I can, yeah.
Yeah, that way the viewers can go watch your video, my friend.
Yeah, on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. I'm trying to get more
Facebook.
than I'm like at 43 followers on my Facebook over the years sports. So we're slowly but surely climbing that battle.
You got me and Rod to finally sub.
Yeah,
so you did good.
Yes.
It's like pulling teeth from these guys.
What did you have any other finds this weekend other than the Sport of Muscles?
I think both card shows were tough. It's a lot of Pokemon these shows now.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's starting to take over.
And you want to know what's interesting too? I completely dropped the ball. There was a huge show at the University of Delaware, and I totally forgot about it. And to be honest with you, I think they did a piss poor job of promoting it. Because like, if it's a big show anywhere within 3 hours of DC, I should know about it. And I did know about it, but I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that be your fault then? Because you knew about it, but then forgot about it?
Yeah, because they weren't pumping it. You need to promote that. Speaking of which,
you got to get Blue Hen legend Joe Flacco in town.
Like, put it in on Facebook groups, flocking. Put it on Instagram, tag me, let me know. Like, I'll come and I'll pump your show. Speaking of which,
you are like the ambassador of sports cards in the DC area.
Thank you for that. Shout out for that. Yeah, if you are a card show promoter or a card show frequenter, you can now find card shows and promote card shows at dibditcards.com. There is a completely brand new section on the chat channels called Find Card Shows Near You. So go use that to promote 100%. Your card shows or find card shows. We had our first post in there. Shout out Dakota, Electric Gecko, said there's a card show this weekend just north of Wichita. So if you're in Kansas, I'm assuming that's where Wichita is.
Wichita, Kansas.
There's a card show this weekend coming up, so go check it out.
Go get your Greg Ostertag collection even bigger.
There you go. But I did find a Sebastian Walcott.
Rafe LaFriends. Get your Rafe LaFriends cards.
Are we gonna be able to see it?
I don't know.
But
you're like a 90-year-old man. You couldn't even turn around. Like what was that?
Well, he doesn't want to get. He doesn't want to get his headphones tangled. Yeah. There it is, Rafe LaFrance.
Super athletic.
So, I did find a Sebastian Walcott patch auto, which I thought was pretty cool. And I did find some of the new Mojo stuff that had been coming out. But I'll tell you what, dude, I remember when I went and I met Cary at the Front Row Card Show in Pasadena last summer.
I remember.
And the Paul Skeens Bowman inserts were like, people were trying to sell them for like $10 a pop. Like, it was insane. That's hitting the Jack Caglione market now, where the Jack Caglione prices are through the roof right now. It's crazy out there. So I did pick up some cool stuff. Nothing insane. I think the Paul Skeens was probably the Sebastian Walcott patch auto was probably the best thing I pulled on day one. Day two, I went to a smaller card show, which is at a Firehouse. It's half comics, half cards. And nobody was at either one of these shows because everybody was at the damn Delaware University show.
But you.
But me. You. So I'm upset about that. But we'll let it
I had a bunch of Jack finds this weekend too. Like, I found some in the 50-cent box and in a $1 box at a card show at the Orlando Sports Cards I'd never been to in Orlando.
So, Cary, if everyone was at this card show and Tim went to the other two card shows, but everyone else knew about it, would that be Tim's fault or the card show's fault?
If everybody that is a good
interesting.
point.
Interesting.
It's like Tim's playing the blame game.
Playing game here. Let us know in the comments down below. Is Tim playing the blame game here?
Right, Tim's fault or Tim's fault down below?
Yes. Here we go.
Your choice.
So I ran into Cary at the local flea market this weekend.
I know. I was up early. I had cards already. I beat you to some cards. I was pretty.
You did beat me to some cards. That happens very rarely, but you did beat me to some cards.
You're like a black hole of cards. Whenever you're around, it's just like everything. It doesn't matter, good or bad.
Yes.
You also will get the stray, just random cards. You're going to get the packs of, I don't know, whatever you're into, Playboy cards or whatever. You're going to pick those up along with the good stuff.
Absolutely, man. But so you found a binder. Let's talk about this binder. You found this binder at the flea market. You posted all over your social media about, should I buy this? So I actually found that binder first, but I ended up passing on it. He had told me you wanted 25 for it, and then you bought it for 20.
I bought it for 20. Yeah.
So
I figured I can piece out some of the low end stuff on like buysportscards.com and make some team lots up, and it was just a cool piece of content too. I thought.
Yeah, it was cool.
I talked to him too. He took out like a second year Ricky out of it.
I talked to him as well.
So like that's fine.
Oh, he told you after you bought it?
Yeah, but like I didn't think that was in there. I looked at the binder, so I bought it assuming that wasn't in there. But there was like stuff that I knew about. Dave Stewart rookie, legend for the Oakland A's. He's a Dodgers rookie. Like there's stuff that like just from doing. There's a bunch of I know.
Reggie Jackson's I saw in there as well. Some
Rollie Fingers too, right?
Raleigh Fingers.
Yeah,
it had some cool Stars stuff. It was just like a iconic 80s like childhood binder,
dude,
like it was 78 to 85 just of every team.
It was definitely worth the 25 or $20 you paid for it. My biggest thing
was 5 or 6 different ways
first.
I can make my money on it, whether it's sell it a lot or piece it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Really but when I went there first, the guy was up front of me. He told me, hey, you know what? He's like, there's a bunch of, some stars, semi-stars in there. He's like, I took out all the good stuff. And the guy was very honest with me, when I was there going through it and stuff.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, it's super cool. So they got me thinking where I posted up a video last week where some guy, like I ran into him at the post office and he wanted me to buy out his sports card collection. And then he met me back at the post office and he had tons, like boxes, like 89, 91 of like, complete sets and stuff like that. But he said that in the video, he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I bought this off a lady at a local, at a flea market, not a flea market, at a garage sale and stuff like that. But she took out every single Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. She took out every Chipper Jones rookie card and stuff like that. But man, like the people in the comments are like, oh, she did that and just ripped this guy like apart for saying that. But he was being very honest. Like he was being very honest.
Yeah,
like, hey, the cards aren't.
There's a lot of people who would just show 89 sets and then just say, I don't know what's in there.
So it got me thinking. I was like, there are honest sellers out there, man. Like, I don't understand why people always think that. Yeah, there's a ton of honest sellers out there.
And to be honest, too, there's like a market for to do it, like for those sets without the King Griffey Juniors. Obviously, you just have to adjust the price down a bit.
Yeah.
But like in '89, there's Craig Biggio rookies. There's Gary Sheffield. There's people who just might want to get most of the set and go buy the Griffey on their own. I don't know. There's set collectors, people who just enjoy cards. There's more than just people trying to flip or grade or whatever.
The crazy thing is that they had, I think from 1988, he had a whole box filled with Diamond Kings cards.
Oh, dude,
he had a complete set of Diamond King cards. Not one, not two, but 288 sets of Diamond Kings cards.
Ooh.
I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. No,
dude,
I didn't
that is the perfect, just the content like advice here. That's a perfect picture to take. Like, even if you don't end up buying the thing, like just throw a whole bunch of the sets out if he has them organized. And then just say, should I buy 288 Diamond King sets? Because a lot of people would say
insane,
yes.
Yeah, how insane is that, man? So how was the card show, though? You went to the card show. What you end up picking up?
Is this the Bangers card show that you went to?
Yeah, Ultimate Bangers. Yeah, those dudes are super nice. They're fans of the show and everything. We can make it an exception for Bangers at their show, I feel like. But I picked these up. I figured you'd appreciate this, especially, Rod. A whole bunch of these packs of 1996 X-Men. I got like a nice stack. I paid up for them, but they're going to be stuff I'm going to run through, Dibdit Cards.
Hey, you get a lot of them.
Yeah, I paid like 60 for all of them.
Okay, still.
So,
that's fun, though. It's a fun rip.
Yeah, it'll be fun stuff to rip and go through. I found a nice 50-cent box, which I did like a Facebook story on, James Wood rookies for 50 cents. That Zaire Hope, which I didn't realize. I had passed up that Zaire Hope 2024 Bowman before because it didn't say first. And then Tim educated, I think in your latest video or the one before, how the Zaire Hopes don't have Bowman first on them unless they're Sapphire.
I think he only has his out of 5 auto has the first Bowman stamp, and that's it.
See, that's
why they do it like that?
It's just one of those things, random
Could
things.
Be like an error or something. Like,
and so everybody was waiting for his first Bowman, but it never came. And then the latest release, 2025 Bowman, people were speculating that they were going to throw a first Bowman stamp on that card, and they didn't. So he literally, it's like, if he pans out and you have one of those 1 of 5, I mean, already right now, if you have one of those out of 5 red first Bowman Zaire Hope autos, you're the premium penny on those right now. Oh, yeah. But like, if he even pans out like a little bit, which I think he will based upon his, progression so far, I mean, those things are going to be – that's going to be one of those cards that's like just insanely valuable.
I love that kind of stuff, though, because that's like where bargain box education comes into play, right? Like, and I learned it from you, and like we're watching everybody's stuff. We're in the bargain boxes a lot. You learn that stuff, and that's your education paying off. Like, now I know every time I see that Zaire Hope, maybe I won't get the base unless they're super cheap. But the chrome, that was a chrome refractor. That's like a $7 card for 50 cents all day. I'll pick that up. So, that was exciting. And then I know how much I've heard Tim talk about Zaire Hope for like the last year, I feel like, or longer. So I was like, I got to, brag to Tim about it, make him feel a little bad.
Yeah. Dude, getting all these Zaire Hope pictures.
And then you found Zaire Hope too, Rod.
I found, even cheaper. Yeah. The crazy thing is, so I was at this card show in Tampa. So here's the crazy thing. It's day 3 I went to the card show. So
That's the craziest thing to me.
So,
this whole story.
Yeah.
So here's the thing is, a lot of people don't keep in mind. A lot of people like to go day 1, day 2, but man, there is something about showing up on day 3 about getting deals. It's the last chance for dealers to they make their money for the weekend. Maybe the other days were
same
slow
with flea markets. Same with estate sales. Last day, there's deals.
So I went there in the last day because I had some other stuff going on during the weekend, so I couldn't make it. And I literally found a 10. So I went through this guy's box. So he had this like table set up where he had like a bunch of cards and mags, and he wanted 3 for 20. And he's like, I'll do a deal 4 for 20. I was like, all right. So I picked out 4 in there, and then I went through his dollar box, and I was just about ready to leave, and I heard him say he had a 10-cent box over there. But the reason I didn't look through it, some guy was standing there. He's like, oh yeah, I put a bunch of new Bowman cards in there, some heritage, and I was like, oh, I guess it's worth a dig. And I started going through, and then I started pulling out all kind of crazy stuff in this 10-cent box. And we're talking like Cooper Flag, first Bowman Chrome. You know what I mean? Like, that was awesome. And then,
dang, dude.
And then I'll just show one other card here because I'm put out in the video. But the reason we're talking about Zaire Hope, I found a Zaire Hope Lalo Refractor numbered to $3.99 for 10 cents. So like as I'm digging through this box, I look. He has a sign on the box that says $75. And I was like, you know what? I'm finding a ton of other good stuff, like for the Bowman release basketball, Bowman new basketball 2025, a ton of stuff in there. There's a ton of rookies, optic, everything else. So I was like, would you do $50 for the box? He's like, absolutely. So I just bought the whole box for $50. So I will put out a video here probably in the next week. Yeah. So there's a ton of crazy stuff in there, but it just makes me think like, and his verbiage was he was like, oh man, he goes, I was just too tired to put sleeves and top loaders on him, so I just threw him in a box. Like he didn't care at that point in time.
Well, that's the kind of vendor and seller in the community that makes no bangers possible. I mean, a lot of people just don't want to deal with the low end, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. They're not into that. They don't want to grind that out, or they don't want to do lives, or they don't want to just spend all those hours getting, selling $8 cards on eBay. It makes total sense. But that's where we can come in and find those deals. That's why, because of that.
So it got me thinking, and I started talking to Tim about this because first off, Tim was all angry. He's like, he's like, damn it, Cary's sending me 50 cent,
violent 50 a little bit. You got a little bit upset.
50-cent pictures of Zaire Hope. You're sending me 10-cent pictures of Zaire Hope, and then what'd you find, Tim?
Oh, there was a green paper Zaire Hope for $50, and I was just like, I'm good, thanks.
That's the thing, though. Like, you get like all of us when we go bargain boxing, you have to be open to what the bargain box gods give you. And any day it could be WWE, and you're not into that or whatever. But there is certain players like we love to find, like certain teams, certain players, certain sets. Like lately, I've been super into the baseball, the Bowman. But 6 months ago, it was Bowman football for me. It's just, and it will be again in a couple months. It's just, it ebbs and flows.
Let me ask you guys a question really fast while this is fresh on my mind. Do you feel as if somebody's going to charge me more than $1, that their card should be in a top loader? Do you think that that's fair assessment on my end?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Because like I got all these cards, and I can't remember if he had them at $3 or $5. And none of them were in top loaders. Bobby Witt, Topps Holiday patch card.
But it's a patch card. Maybe he didn't have the top loader for
Jazz Chisholm pinstripe patch card, Kobe Mayo rookie patch card, Michael Harris patch card. Like,
I'm okay with that.
What are we doing?
Well, here's the thing.
I think there is an exception on patch cards. I kind of agree, and I don't know why, but I do kind of agree. I think they should, but
I would prefer them to be at least be sleeved, and I'm okay with that.
They have to be sleeved.
They have to be sleeved, but dude, patch. I mean, like you can buy 25 top loaders for the same price that you're going to buy 10 big top loaders to put patch cards in. So they're a lot more expensive. So if he's only charging $1 or $2 per card, I can see why they don't want to put them in a top loader.
What about like $3 to $5?
Still, I don't know.
I mean, I think that's borderline. I think 5 would be about the break where it'd be like, if it's anything more than 5, I would say
So I was digging through the box, and the guy didn't have prices on 75% of the stuff. And he was like, oh, yeah, like it's mostly just like $1 to $5 stuff. So I started pulling all these cards out. I'm with my buddy who I always run into at every show. We always are digging through boxes. And we're pulling stuff out of this box, like First Bowman Mojos, like all types of crazy stuff. And then the guy's like, so is this your pile right here? I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it. He grabs the pile, takes it all over to like his showcase, and starts comping out every single card that I had in my pile.
Oh, man.
And I'm just like... And so eventually we're going back and forth, and I'm like, the prices weren't like crazy, but it was definitely like, I ended up buying at that show in Gettysburg, which I crushed last time, but once again, everybody was in Delaware. I ended up paying like $2.06 per card average by the time I got everything home and sorted. So a little bit above what I've been on a roll lately, but like, I don't know. Those cases are annoying to find, as Rod will tell you.
Yeah. Well, So it got me thinking. Me and Tim were actually talking about this because after he was yelling at me for all the Zaire hopes that he was missing out on because he wasn't in Delaware, we started talking about, how awesome is it when you walk up to a table and like you can tell the dealers, like say he's all into football and he has 10 boxes full like football cards to go through, and he has 1 box of baseball. Do you prefer those? I mean, is that an awesome like, hey, alert, I should dig through this baseball, because obviously he probably doesn't care, because a lot of dealers out there will dabble. I mean, they have their main sports they focus on, but they'll dabble in like football, baseball, basketball, UFC, wrestling, tennis, racing, all kind of other stuff. So what signs do you look out for? I mean, you guys have been in a lot of shows. What stands out to you that maybe, hey, I'm gonna get a really good deal because of maybe how their setup is, or kind of how their boxes are set up?
I mean, I definitely always pay attention to the setups. Like it's weird. Like half of you wants everything organized, and the other half of you wants it completely unorganized, right? Yeah. It's like when you're looking at estate sale pictures, and you could just tell, like, oh, this estate sale is going to be way overpriced. And then you see, like, the estate sales where it's like, it looks like somebody screenshotted an episode of Hoarders, and you're like, that's the one I want to go to, right? Exactly. So it's very similar to that. Like, if I'm going to spend a lot of time, it helps when it's organized, right? Like, I love it. I love it when I get to team organization boxes, and, like, you pick up the Arizona Diamondbacks first, and it's like, Jordan Lawler to $3.99. You're like, okay, I'm where I want to be, right?
There we go.
But like if you go there and it's like a Kurt Schilling, like penny sleeved Arizona Diamondbacks card, you're like, oh, this might be a little rough. So it's just you kind of got to go through it, and we talked about this before. Sometimes it's like you get as a bargain boxer, you get FOMO. It's like do you like you feel like I have to look through this or else I'm going to miss the one like $300 card that's slipped through the cracks, right? But then at the same time, it's like you have to have a cutoff point at some point because you don't want to spend all your time at one table looking for one card. So, I mean, it's
that's
just
a good point.
Yeah, it's just you kind of have to – sometimes I'll scout a show if it's a small show. Like I'll walk the floor before I even stop at a table, right? And see if I recognize any vendors or if I see a setup that just catches my eye. Like I remember at Chantilly, like there's a guy who sells Bowman, and he literally has a box that's like 50 cents, and it says Bowman Sapphire 50 cents. So like, I will dig through that entire 5-row box because it's worth it to me.
Dude, I picked up a Dalton Rushing Bowman Sapphire 2024. It wasn't a first, no, but they're so good looking. I mean, it's not a super high end card. I still think it was good at what I paid, like 50 cents, but it was just like.
And that's a color match.
Yeah, it's a color match. It just looks so good. There is there is an art. There's a jazz, to bargain boxing. I've talked about it before. It's like you want to not miss out on stuff, but also when the moment strikes, when the music's playing and you're at a hot box, you also don't want to like leave. So there is a little bit of that. And then there's also just human nature. Like I'll be at a place sometimes that has an infinite amount of bargain boxes, it feels like. And at some point I'm like, okay, I've milked this area as much as I'm willing to. I want to go check out the rest of the show. That happens sometimes when like KNT is at local shows because he has so many great boxes, but I may be missing out on other stuff, and I know I can see his stuff later. So there's a nuance to it, and you're not always right. And ultimately, if you're bargain boxing and there's other bargain boxers around you, you're going to miss stuff, and they're going to get it, and you're going to find stuff, and they're going to miss it. That's just how it is.
So, and I just got me start thinking more and more about this. Like, do you guys prefer the actual like vendor setup who has 8 tables with like a ton of boxes on there, and you could tell like he has stuff all organized going through, or do you like them little like a guy who has 3 tables set up, maybe his buddies, just set up one little or sharing a table or half a table there. Like I actually prefer the smaller setups. For me, like lately, because when I go to these things, like 3 of the tables I bought from is one, the guy was first time ever set up at a show and his stuff wasn't organized. He told me he works a full-time job and he bought a whole collection off his buddy and he just kind of wanted to move it. So, he didn't really have pricing and stuff. I put a giant stack. I told him, hey, I'm selling online. This is kind of the price points I want to be at. Is that something you could do? He's like, yeah, just make a giant pile. So I made a pile and I was able to got a good deal on the cards there. And then there's another vendor there that like you said, Tim says, look out for some that you've dealt with in the past. One vendor that I've dealt with probably 4 or 5 times has been in my videos. He came up to me, he said, hey, he goes, I had all my cards and mags in my case. I was asking $5 a card, day 1, but since day 3, I just want to move them. So $2 a card, so like a mag's going to cost me more than $1 just for the, like the case.
Can we pause for a second?
Yes.
I want to make this loud and clear. Just because you put your card in a one-touch does not mean it's a $10 card. Exactly. You're not allowed to charge me more money for a card because your card is in a one-touch.
That is a whole play of card shows and whatnot shows, and that's just such 100%. An overplayed thing. It's like just putting in like dollar cards into these, mags and then asking 3 or 5 or whatever. I mean, guys,
It's in a bag. It's in a bag. One touch. One touch.
I feel like that's like a remnant of the pandemic days when mags were kind of hard to come by, like all the supplies and stuff.
Supplies were
now
tough
you
to come
can
to,
you can get those in bulk fairly cheap. It definitely factors in if you're on the fence on like a card that's worth some money, and then you're like, okay, it's maybe add $1 for the mag or whatever you want to add in your head, or that could help a little bit push you over the edge, but it's definitely not going to make a mid card anything more than that.
But I mean, at $2 a card in a mag. So the way I look at it is, if I take the card out, top load it, I have a mag for $1. I'm okay with that. I can use that for other stuff.
What are you going to use the mag
exactly
for?
What are you using the mag for? Just like your mag collection, because you're going to have to sell it with a card.
I got a whole stack of empty mags here.
Yeah, I have a whole stack of them too, to be honest with you.
That is true. Yeah, what are you using the mag for is the real question.
Put your patch cards in there, Tim. There you go.
Put my what?
You got to get
your
the
patch cards
mag.
that you bought with no top loaders or sleeves at the card show. Put them in your mags. That's exactly what he did. That's funny.
What you did. I love it.
Yeah. But so we're going back to the car show. So let me ask you guys a question here. Now, I did not like this at this car show. I don't know if you guys experienced those car shows. They had a live DJ. So they had a whole section. They were doing autograph signings, and they had a live DJ. And during the whole show, this guy was,
because I'm filming.
Yeah, well, yes, that one thing I hate. But if you're just a regular vendor there, or if you're just a regular person walking by, so the guy's playing everything from Frank Sinatra to playing Little John. All right, so it was all over the place.
Liver King?
No, Little John.
Like, Lil Jon. I thought you said
King.
River John.
No, dude, we're not
Liver
talking about
King
you.
Hasn't dropped an album yet, has he?
No, maybe King? Tim. Liver King. Is that what you said? Liver King?
Liver King debut album.
Could you imagine? What kind of music is Liver King?
Tim would be all over that. Tim thinks he's a Liver King.
Definitely heavy metal.
I'm going like electric folk.
Ooh, electric folk. Ooh. Can you imagine a Liver King electric folk cover of the Pokemon song?
Exactly. It's kind of like late 60s Bob Dylan with a little acid.
What?
Just think about it. You guys are playing the songs in your head, yeah.
No one's playing the songs in your head.
Mookie Blaylock, dude. No, Mookie Blaylock.
See, that was the Mookie I was talking about when I said Mookie earlier.
Yeah, you know who they don't talk enough about? The Plastic Man, Stacey Augman.
Shout out Vernon Maxwell. Fantastic listen on a podcast.
Yeah, Vernon Maxwell, dude. Oh, dude. Sam Cassell, rookie year, won a title with the
right, can you guys please comment down below how much you guys ride this name game?
Dude, okay, I got one for you. If we're talking
Sham
about
God,
New York guys.
Sham God.
Dude, Sham God. I wanted the Jazz to pick
crossover.
him. Dude, in '98, I was so upset they didn't pick him in the second round.
No one cares about your random players. You guys say you guys do it every week. I tell you, no one cares about it.
Because you don't know any. You just keep thinking LeBron James. You just keep. That's the only player you can think of. You can't think of anybody else.
Bronny James.
Did you get your LeBron James autograph COA? I don't remember if I watched that video.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. It cost me $100 to get it. We talked about it on here. It cost me $100 to get the COA through GSA, and then
I don't know if I want to go to flea markets anymore if those LeBron James autos they have aren't real.
Well, you never know. But all right, going back to what I was saying. So the guy was blasting music during this whole card show. The vendors hated it. Absolutely hated it. Every vendor I went to was complaining about the music. So have you been to a card show where they had a live DJ playing music the entire time?
I mean, when you're at National, there's a lot of noise.
Yeah, well, that's different. You know,
I mean, yeah, I've been to some card shows before where they play music.
Dude, I will tell you, I have a good experience from that. And I'm interrupting Tim, and I apologize. But I went to Collecticon in Dallas like a year and a half ago, and there was, a ton of Pokemon, a ton of One Piece, stuff like that. There was one dude selling cards, like majorly bargain boxes. And I'm sitting there, and you look up, and then there's, he was like at the edge of the booths, and then there was like a stage, like directly in front of me. They had the Pokemon guy, every Collecticon.
Are you serious?
There's
in Dallas. So you've seen Pokemon
I've seen
guy
Pokemon
in
guy
Dallas
twice
and
live. I've seen him live twice. I'm kind of a fan.
How about living the dream? Let me tell you, my friend.
So he was like, Pokemon! He was going all out. That's basically his one song. He has another song, and then he does like a medley of just random songs that nobody asked for. But that's what I'm
going to say. Is like, how long is his concert, though?
It's like 10 minutes
15,
and he's
20 minutes.
It's 10, 15 minutes and he's really stretching it. You know what I mean? Because it's basically they're there for Pokemon and they want to leave.
They don't have like a remix, like a Pokemon remix?
There's like another Pokemon song he sang like for a different Pokemon show. And then he had like a remix where he was singing like different popular songs.
And then he spends 15 minutes telling him
introduce new characters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they have new TV shows and stuff?
Yeah. They have multiple TV shows and movies and other stuff.
No,
so
but
he's still...
Yeah, I think he sings for other stuff too. Like he's a popular like cartoon show singer. Like he's like got a legit career doing it.
Nice.
But it's just always surreal. So I was listening to that, but I was at the bargain boxes, and then after that, it was literally Tone Loc singing "Funky Cold Medina." So I'm sitting there like looking through like dollar Jerry Stackhouse cards or whatever, and I'm looking up, and it's like "Funky Cold Medina," and I'm like, what is going on? What am I doing, man? Dude. This is heaven. This is awesome. This is exactly the experience I want.
But at least they advertise that. You know what I mean? That's different.
Did.
Even when I was
cool.
in Orlando, like Waka Flocka Flame was right there just singing on stage right after the Pokemon. Like I literally went from like...
What a combination.
Like, dude,
Waka Flocka and the Pokemon guy.
He went Pokemon guy singing on stage. Then it went interviewing to Gary V. Then it went to Waka Flocka performing live. Like it was the most random thing I've ever seen in my entire life. You know what I mean? So
that's Orlando. That felt like Orlando to me.
Is Waka Flocka a big Pokemon guy?
I guess he's big in I guess he likes a bunch of like cards and stuff. So I guess so. I don't know. But I mean, he was backstage ripping packs of V Friends with Gary at one point and stuff. So yeah, pretty interesting. So
speaking of Lil Jon and Lil Scrappy and Trillville, I'd like to get on that level, ripping V Friends packs with Gary V.
Yeah,
get on my
absolutely,
level,
man.
Get on my level. Get on my level.
Well, speak about levels. Last week we had
Johnny
a big
Level.
debate, Tim.
Johnny Level. I picked up
Johnny
two
Level.
Johnny Levels this weekend because of that, and Jonathan Long. All the Johns I'm picking up.
Don't forget, if we were going into Ongs, don't forget about Jonathan Tong.
Jonah Tong, even the pitcher.
Yeah, Jonah Tong. That's what I meant. I say Jonathan Jonah Tong.
I just messing with you.
He's on fire.
Oh yeah, dude.
Are you two done?
Yeah.
Are you guys done now?
Matt Harvey. Speaking of Mets pitchers.
Oh, here we go. just pollute the ears
John
of
Franco.
all of our listeners right now.
John Franco.
Ooh, John Franco.
I sometimes see him pop up on TikTok because his daughter has like a TikTok account, and like just John will pop up sometimes on
Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, Keith Hernandez, dude.
Guy, yeah. You can
Keith
find
Hernandez,
Keith Hernandez,
dude. What Mookie Wilson?
You guys done?
Deep into the Mets bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lenny Dykstra.
Lenny
Right.
He's a Philly too.
I sold Lenny Dykstra
Nails.
autographed jersey to Kevin.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Lenny
Where'd
Dykstra
you
is
get
one
that
of
at?
Kevin's favorite players.
Dude, I love Nails. Man, he was great back in the day for the Phillies. And then he just went on a bad path after that. Real bad. Is he in jail now?
I think so.
He was in jail.
I think
Is
he is
still
in jail.
Is he?
Shout out John Kruk, though.
Yeah, John Kruk, dude. I love that guy. Dude,
Ooh.
shout out Greg Vaughn, by the way. How's he doing? 50
Okay,
homers.
there's a guy in my mind right now. He played for the Twins. And he has a last name that shares with another Keith Herbeck.
Oh yeah, Herbeck, yeah.
Yeah, Keith Herbeck.
Him and Gary Gaetti, dude. If you were in Minneapolis,
wow, I heard
if you
that
were at the
name
Mall of
so
America
long.
in 1993 and you saw Ken Herbeck and Gary Gaetti, you were about to you were going to pass out. And then Kirby Puckett walked by. Oh my gosh. Take me away in a gurney at that point because I'd be unconscious.
Shout out to the person I saw on Dibdit Cards.
And
today
then if the
trying to
Mighty
sell
Ducks guys, if the Mighty Ducks
1992
kids started skating through the mall, I'd be done.
Kirby Puckett stack card for $8.
That's it. I'm muting you both. That's it. You guys are both done. That's
this is what the people want.
People don't want this
They
stupid
want this.
game.
Guys, let us know you want it down below.
No,
but say
let
what
them know
you
how
want
much
the card
hate
thing, not
this game. All right. But no, me and Tim had a huge debate last week. We talked about Cards HQ, about all these big corporations getting back into getting the sports card stuff. So I started thinking after the show ended is why don't we have a national franchise sports card shop nationwide? Like why there hasn't been one ever? Why is that? What's the difficulties? Like let's break this down a little bit. Like why?
There's a couple of things. One, I feel like after there was not enough time between the 90s boom and the collapse for anybody to really structure something,
that's
big
a good
enough
point.
to
That's
do
a really
it,
good
right?
point. Okay.
Because the boom happened and everybody was like, we all thought we were going to get rich like we were collecting 52 Manos, and then
Wait, you're
everything.
telling me
And
my
it-
1991
and it
Chipper
turns
Jones
out-
rookies aren't going
And it turns out we were collecting Walt Weiss cards.
Yes.
Terry Steinbachs.
Oh, Terry Steinbach, that's a good one.
Dave Steeb. Stop,
So
Steve.
yeah,
Focus, Tim. Focus.
That happened, and
trying
it
to
threw everybody
Get him off
off.
track.
And then basically, like, cards market was kind of just like what it was until the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and it's almost like the same situation where, now you have online, everything's online, so like the overhead would be massive for a major chain. So like business wise, it makes sense. And then after the pandemic boom, you kind of had the market correction. Which is, let me tell you this. One thing that pisses me off, and I hate this, and I see a lot of people do this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's like, don't show me a card value of something that was sold during the pandemic and is selling now. Like, don't use that as an example of the sports market crashing, because that's idiotic.
That might be why you're not selling your Zion Williamson PSA 10 silver prisms. It's because you're showing people 2020 prices and they're like $8 now.
Yeah.
But
So
if
like,
you-
Allegedly.
If
Yeah,
you look at the market
I
before
don't know what they're really
2020, like compared to now, the market it's still up. It
it's
has a new
way better.
baseline.
It's way up. Still
better.
way up.
And
I
I
used
think
to-
there's a lot of growth. Like we haven't untapped the amount of growth, the potential that this market has.
I used to talk
know?
about it all the time because I was doing sports card content on my main channel during the pandemic, and this was my guess at the time, was like, it's going to go up and it's going to come back down, but it's going to level out higher than where it was before. And I kind of feel like that's what happened. It's bigger than what it was pre-2020. It's just more, I prefer this. It's more predictable. We can kind of see what's happening. We can, it's no more just like, who knows what's going on because everything's going to the moon.
Well, Cary, you've been to a lot of card shops. I mean, you did in the card shop across America when you hit up all the card shows, when you drove from Vegas to the National, when you drove from Vegas to Florida, and vice versa. Yeah. I mean, you've been to a ton. So why don't we have a national card shop? Like, what's the difficulties you see? Why do you think that no one has accomplished that yet?
I mean,
like a national chain.
We could make an argument to some level. Walmart, Target, they are supplying cards nationally. It's just the retail product. There's no singles really, which is interesting. But it's that's a good question. I think it's a ton of overhead to have all. I think you might be able to do it on the box level. Having your hobby boxes in every store. It's the singles. Like I think we talked about last week.
Yeah.
It's just like, could you imagine if there was a real Walmart level? I mean, that would be insane, but like 4,000 stores nationwide. They would just have 20, 30, 40, 50 people at every card show in America just buying up stuff. It would feel like, just to fill up their stores and stuff. It's a lot of work. I don't think there's value in that. But I could see like Walmart in the future doing hobby products. I don't know why they couldn't.
Well, I mean, let's go back to the whole GameStop concept. So GameStop now, they will buy you some of your graded cards. They're not doing raw cards. They will buy graded cards. Baseball, Pokemon, football.
They'll give you worse money than a pawn shop.
I get that.
Wait, GameStop's not going to give you fair what?
They're going to give you like 20 or 30% of market value for those cards, but they at least have a system in place that I get it, but I'm just saying is they have a system in place where you can go trade in your cards, and then they take those cards, they send it off to corporate, and then you can buy them from corporate and directly from the website. So I started thinking about this.
Sounds like a scam.
Not a scam. I mean, people want to listen. If it's your choice to sell, if you don't educate yourself on where you can sell your cards, that's on you. You know what I mean? Like GameStop's not the only place in town.
I'm about ready to pop up out front of GameStop and be like, I got 40% for you.
Bro, do you know how many people do that? I used to do it with video game stuff. I'd be in there and people are like, GameStop's like, I'll give you $87. And then as they leave, I fall out in the parking lot. I was like, hey, I'll give you $150 for all your stuff. Like, absolutely.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not financial advice. You should probably be buying. Aaron Judge might be still cheap. Shout out my guy, Prospect RS. He just posted this stat. Aaron, well, he reposted this stat from somebody else, but from Bob Nightingale. Shout out Bob Nightingale. That's a name you should know.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge with 23 home runs and a 396 batting average is the only player in modern era baseball history to produce this many homers with this high of a batting average in his team's first 64 games in baseball history.
That's insane.
The problem with Aaron Judge, though, is he chokes when it comes to the postseason.
We'll sell his cards before the postseason.
Guys, I don't know what to tell you. This is the truth. What I've found, and this is just my opinion, not financial advice about sports cards. It doesn't matter about about playoff performance to a certain degree, or even how good somebody's stats are. It has to do. It feels like primarily about hype. Because if it was about stats and all that, we would have a lot different players consistently being worth big money. Like Giannis would still, I mean, there'd be a lot of guys that would be more valuable than a Zaire Hope right now, who, although looks like he could be great, it feels like the second he gets to the league, and he is great, Mookie Betts or whatever, right? He's going to cool down, and we're going to go on to the next prospect anyway.
I disagree with you 100%. Because, and I'll give you one example, Jim Kelly. If Jim Kelly would have won 4 Super Bowls instead of losing 4 Super Bowls, his whole card market would be completely different today than it would be. I mean,
let's compare him to other 90s quarterbacks. Okay, that let's say that aren't on like the big teams like Dallas or 49ers. So who's another guy that won Super Bowls that was a bit John Elway? I guess he's a little bit better than Jim Kelly, I would say. But I also think that's a little bit about being in Buffalo, man. Buffalo's like basically Canada. That's far away from most of the U.S., right? Buffalo is in Canada, correct?
Yeah. Yes, it's part of Canada.
You just got to go over like Niagara Falls on a barrel, and you're there.
Exactly how you get there.
You got to go up the fall, though.
yeah, it's like an escalator they have.
But there's an argument on either side, and I know we're getting away from Tim's point, but I don't know. No. I think like if we were just basing value on how good somebody is and how many championships they are, then we'd all be sitting with tons of Bill Russell cards all around us. You know what I mean?
What about Warren Moon? Like Warren Moon's another one. He's a legendary career, but he has never won a Super Bowl. You know, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they also value Super Bowls differently. You know, I mean, like if you win a Super Bowl at the end of your career, it's not going to matter as much as if you carried a team in your 20s. That's a big difference.
when you're a New York Yankee, it's World Series or bust. So the fact that he's putting out all these great stats and putting out all these things and doesn't get a World Series, that's a problem for the Yankees.
Go look at stats, but I don't know.
That's what we're doing.
We're looking at stats in the No, go look at stats in the 90s at King Griffey Jr. and Bernie Williams. King Griffey Jr. is worth more. He never won nothing.
True.
Frank Thomas, the big hurt. I mean, he's doing Blue Chew ads now, right? Is that what he's doing? I think.
Allegedly. I don't know if he's doing
allegedly.
That.
I don't know. He's definitely doing one of those types of ads. You know, he's still more popular than I'd say Bernie Williams. Maybe he doesn't have like a battle arena set like Bo Jackson though. Bo Jackson,
I got
reached the pinnacle.
2 hobby boxes of that coming, by the way.
Dude, that was the thing I never saw taking off. We were at the National. I think me and Tim even talked about it. I'm like, what the heck is this? This seems like not going to work, and it's working.
Have you seen what those things go for, by the way?
Yeah, they have cool autos in there. I kind of get it now, but at the moment I was like, nope. And now I'm like, you know what? I want to enter the battle arena.
Their hobby boxes are going for $600 a piece right now.
No way.
The last one sold June 8th for $599.
Dude, that's wild.
Bro, there's cards like this autograph. They have like a Mean Joe Green auto. But dude, have you actually seen these cards?
But it just seems like such a wild idea.
Hold on, I gotta share my screen because you got to see these things.
Do I pronounce it Mewtwo?
Mewtwo, yes.
Mewtwo?
Yes. All right, check some of these out. So John Taylor autograph, but they have like cool drawings and stuff like that on them. Hobby box, $5.99. Here's who's this one here? I don't know. Here's the Mean Joe Green, but like they have tons of good players in here, like autos and stuff like that.
It's cool, but like if you,
I want to know who's playing the game.
I don't think anybody.
Dude, they actually have tournaments. If you go to the website, they have tournaments. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. National tournament ticket right here. Here's a card from the national tournament ticket. Bo Jax. But
that's cool. It just didn't seem. I mean, Bo Jackson is massively popular, but it just seemed so random. It'd be like I don't know. It'd be like Thurman Thomas Battle Arena cards. I would have been like, that's interesting, but I don't
Bro,
see that working.
They put Caitlin Clark in there. They have AI
No, they've done
in there.
well. It's pretty cool.
Victor Wembanyama, like
The
crazy.
cards
Like
look cool too. Honestly, I don't know how they're. I mean, hats off to them.
Ohtani?
They made it work.
Showtime Ohtani, they call him. Like, I don't know. It's something different. So I randomly signed up for their list and stop. And I literally on like a Friday night at like 7:00 at night, I got like a random text. I'm like, what is this? Like, you've been selected for the Bo Jackson hobby box or whatever. So I went on. I was like, all right, but they were like $200. And I bought my 2 boxes from them. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll rip it on Dibdit Cards. That'd be fun, right?
Dude, that
sell
would
some
be
packs.
dope.
Yeah,
I've
we'll
sold
sell
them
some
singles,
packs.
man. They've sold well for me. I mean,
Would you
cool.
wait?
Hats off.
Where'd you find singles of Bo Jackson Battle Arena?
Just
At a
in the
card
barter
show or
boxes.
something?
Yeah, at a card show. Dude had a bunch. You know, it wasn't like I got some parallels, but nothing obviously autoed and nothing numbered. I don't think, just shinies.
Any like big players that you remember? Like
I got like
names
some
cards.
I got some rookies like Marvin Harrison, Jackson Holiday, mostly just like Ant-Man and like, you know, just like they're pretty much all stars. It's an interesting product, and the way it's set up too. I think they're working with the players, or how I don't know exactly how they'd reach that, but so this is all alleged. I don't know, but like they got big names in their sets. Like every big player they got, everybody, and they're just like, you know, nickname, like, you know, whatever Showtime, whatever they call it, Shohei. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, they come Showtime on there. Tim's deep down some type of rabbit hole over there. He hasn't said one word.
I was trying to find this. There was an interesting thing I saw where they took the starting lineups because I started thinking about, like, you know, how does playoffs affect, you know, your card prices and stuff like that, right? And so, like, I'm looking, there was an interesting post where they had the starting lineup of the Thunder versus the starting lineup of the Pacers, and like the highest sold card for each player's position against each other. And it was super interesting. But like, you know, like there's some guys that like the highest sold Pascal Siakam card, you know, like it's probably like $2,000. Like the highest price, like you know, Chet Holmgren card is way more than that. You know, like,
well, but it's hype. It's because of age, though, because Siakam's been in the league for 7-8 years, right?
Yeah.
Siakam's probably a better player than Chet is right now, at least overall with defense and everything, I'd imagine. But like, Matherin's a younger guy. Maybe he's getting a bump. I'm sure people
his
are
stuff
a little
is not,
bit.
Like, I'll tell you what,
a lot of them seem fairly static, and that's just my opinion. Allegedly,
also,
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's like before, where it would.
Yeah,
there's small market teams too. That also doesn't help. Indiana and Oklahoma.
Baseball seems to have a lot more of that. Like somebody gets called up, you see it, you go, "Oh man, the cards are selling."
Like Pete Crow Armstrong right now.
Yeah,
his cards are like up 117%. Jacob Wilson, his stuff is crazy too. Remember when I bought that Jacob Wilson at the trade night for $40, the first Bowman auto at National?
I don't even remember, dude.
Oh, you bought a first Bowman auto?
Of Jacob Wilson at the National trade night.
What'd you pay for it?
$40.
I was too busy buying Vasily Micic autos for $30, number to 15. That did not pan out, but that's okay.
But yeah,
I was in a big Euro League kick at the moment.
Max Fried, his stuff's going up crazy too right now.
That's what I'm loving about baseball. It just feels like there's more. Like you can find the deals because it's so broad. Like there's so many players, it's hard to be on top of all of them. So you can arbitrage it, and then there's like definitely if something happens, you notice. You know,
I mean, you saw the Tyler Soderstrom effect firsthand when you and I were doing a live sale.
Yeah, 100%. And then like I don't know if even Halliburton he is having a bump. Yeah, I'm sure, but like it's
not
probably
like
not even
deserves.
As big. Yeah, not like he deserves, or not like probably any of these baseball players who've been half as hot or a third as hot.
I mean, there's a lot of people who invested a lot of money in SGA who are like holding on to the edge of their seat right now because they're hoping he wins a championship.
But if he wins, like what? I mean, nobody knows. Maybe it'll be massive, but I don't. This is my opinion. I don't see a massive bump, even if he wins.
Yeah, and he's having an historic year. He just crossed the 3,000 point plateau for regular season and postseason. He's only the 12th player ever in the history of NBA to score 3,000 points combined in a season.
Yeah, it's just I think there is something to being in OKC and Indiana. Unfortunately, as great of basketball towns as those places are, especially like Indianapolis.
Indiana, yeah.
yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. You got to be in like New York or L.A. or maybe Dallas now. I don't know.
Dude, the NBA probably hated that these two teams made it to the finals. You know what I mean? Like no New York in the finals.
They're so
no
upset
LA,
that they
no
gave my
Miami.
Jazz the 5th pick, which was messed up, man. We don't have nothing in Utah. I mean, I'm not
Don't
there
talk
anymore.
to
That's
me,
what.
man. We got the 6th pick.
Oh man,
How
you
did
guys
Dallas
can have
get the
whoever we
first
don't
pick?
pick. How about that?
Like Dallas getting the first pick overall is insane. Their percentage, we talked about it on here. I think their percentage of getting the first pick was like a 1.8% or like a 2% or something crazy, and they get the first pick overall. Now they're getting Cooper Flag.
You could even think about like 92. It was improbable for Shaq to go to Orlando, but that was like a big market they were trying to push at the time. You can make that argument, but then in the next year they had just as small. They had very small odds too, and then they got the number 1 pick, and they took Weber and traded him for Penny, who was the 3rd pick that year. So they ended up having that nucleus.
I was looking at autographed Penny jerseys 2 nights ago.
I love Penny.
Dude,
he was my favorite player growing up.
Dude, remember the shoe commercials when he had this
little Penny? I had the posters.
Chris
I had
Rock,
the posters. I had all that stuff, bro.
Dude, that was awesome.
I've never owned a pair of Jordans, but I had every single pair of Penny Hardaways.
Really?
Let me ask you this. Okay, if you had to buy a Penny Hardaway autographed jersey, let us know in the comment section below. Would you do the white with pinstripes, the royal blue with pinstripes, or the black with pinstripes?
Black pinstripes all
Suns
day.
jersey.
Suns jersey. Get out of here, man. I saw all those Suns jerseys.
Miami
There's
Heat
another.
Penny
He has a
Hardaway
Raptors jersey. Autographed.
Does he?
It was either Raptors or the Knicks. I can't remember which one.
He played
I think
for the
it was
Knicks. Yeah. Didn't he play?
How long did he play for the Knicks? I don't remember him playing for the Knicks.
Man, his knees just went out.
He wasn't
bro.
Penny anymore when he was playing. He was just
He was a half a penny.
Yeah.
he was a hay penny. Yeah.
They're getting rid
Hey,
of the
Penny.
pennies now.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna stop making them because it costs them more to actually make a penny than it is to distribute pennies. So, but the pennies are still being distribution. They're just not gonna make them anymore.
Bro, Penny was so ahead of his time.
Oh,
Give me
yeah.
a guy from back then that could ball right now and would be one of the best players in the
I'll
league.
give you
Is Prime Penny.
Bryant Big Country Reeves, if he stayed healthy. There's one.
Country Reeves. Yeah.
I don't know if that dude could play nowadays. He was an old school center. I don't know.
Wait, no, didn't he pass away like recently?
No,
Big Country?
I think he's alive.
I think he got hit by a car.
That was Sean Bradley, and he got paralyzed. He's paralyzed from the. Yeah. He's in a wheelchair now,
No,
unfortunately.
I thought Big Country got like cancer or something else that died. I don't know.
No, I'm
thinking
sure
someone
Big
else.
Country's alive. He just had a back issue. He was a pretty solid player.
I think he got
in the 90s.
stabbed at a rodeo or something like that.
We're all over the place. Something may have happened. Somebody check on Big Country. We don't know.
Make sure he's okay, guys. Because I mean, he's had cancer, stabbed, and been hit by a car all on the same day. Talk about a bad.
This is terrible. I feel bad. But like, I don't know. I heard nothing about anything happening to Big Country. So
he's on that, man. Oh,
he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Oh my god, he looks like. In his last picture of as a professional player, he definitely looks like Pat McAfee in a fat suit. Yeah. He last played in 2001.
He was done real quick. He started in 95. He just had massive back issues. He couldn't get his back.
His last
But in his prime, dude, he was 20 and 10. Like he
averaged 8.3 and 6 rebounds for the Memphis Grizzlies in 2000 and 2001. Those listen, ask Rod. You gotta be careful about your NBA years. Those double years.
Don't get me started on that one. I didn't tell you this. So Dave bought those cards. He's like, "Oh, yeah, you can get Kobe Bryant rookies in these and stuff." So I bought those packs from him, and come to find out that they said 96 upper deck on them, but they were actually 95, 96, not 96, 97. So
that's still Garnett. It's not a Kobe.
But
it's also Big Country. Come on, man. Damon Stoudemire, Jerry Stackhouse.
So, but the thing was, I wanted to make a short, and I was like, I'm looking for the Kobe Bryant rookie, only to post up, and then I'm like, wait a minute. People are like, wait a minute, this is the wrong year. I was like, oh my gosh, it is the wrong year. I didn't even double check the year on it.
Dude, imagine if you pulled a Kobe Bryant in that before he was,
before he was even there. Yeah, that would be something.
Real 101.
That would be the real, So
his son played at Oklahoma State. Bryant Reeves' son.
Bryant Reeves.
Trey Reeves.
Little Country Reeves.
You call him Tree Reeves? Is that what you said?
Trey Reeves. Trey Reeves looks like the kid from y'all watch Friday Night Lights, the TV show ever?
No, I have better stuff to do in my life.
God, such a great series. This guy was also in Battleship. He's been
Trey
in a couple
Reeves
of
was
other
it?
things.
Oh, are you talking about Taylor? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks like him. What's his name? You had said his name right. Taylor
Kirchner. Taylor. He does, but that guy doesn't have red hair.
Tim just likes all the redhead guys because he's a walking ginger. So he has to support his people. Is that what it is? Is this what's happening?
Mike Bibby or Damon Stoudemire? Pick one right now.
Oh.
Ooh, Damon Stoudemire.
Yeah, Damon. Mighty Mouse. I'm talking 90. I'm not talking, because people forget, like, he was great. He was really good when he was young with the Raptors, but he was really solid on those Blazers teams in the early 2000s when they were
jersey
about
you
to
need?
be in the playoffs and stuff.
You need a Mark Eaton Jazz jersey.
Dude. Mark Eaton, dude. He was a blocking machine.
So, Cary, going forward now with the Jazz, are you still going to support the Jazz? Are you going to support
I'm always
the
gonna be a
Magic?
Jazz fan.
Okay,
I want to get into. I do want to get into the Magic though because they are close, and I've always kind of liked them, and they're also Eastern Conference, so I feel like you can have an Eastern Conference team and a Western. I'm a Jazz guy, but like the Jazz were playing. Like I was thinking about going to a game, and the Jazz were playing like the next week when I was looking in Orlando, and I didn't want to do it because I don't think I could go and not cheer for like the Jazz, and I don't have the confidence to go in there with a Jazz jersey or.
Bro, it's not Philly. You'll be fine. It's Orlando. Like
I know, but like
fine.
I'm not like that confident. I'm
Yeah.
just
You showed up to
Don't roll up
Philadelphia.
to Philadelphia with a Blake Bortles jersey on.
Yes, just to see what's happening. Are you a Jaguars fan this year?
Oh heck yeah! I'm trying to go to most of the games. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna get season tickets, but I'm gonna try to go to most of the games if I can. My goal is like 4 or 5 at least.
How far were you from Jacksonville games?
The game like an hour and a half.
What about Tampa Bay games?
Oh, he's
or like
3.
3.
Oh, okay.
3 hours.
We want to go to a Tampa Bay game and a Miami game this year too. We want to hit like the trifecta.
The problem
Let's
with
start up at No Bangers. We got to go to Miami and Washington and Madrid. No Bangers can finance that.
Yeah, dude. No Bangers in Espanol. Let's do it. Viva No Bangers. Let's do it.
I want to go to Madrid. Madrid. Are they playing Madrid this year?
Miami and Washington play Madrid this year.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Sí.
that would be
My
a fun
neighbor's
trip.
going to the running of the Bulls.
Hablo español si necesitamos. Podemos. Comer mucho jamón. They love their ham there. And I don't like the ham in Spain, but they love it there.
I love any sort of meat.
All right,
Pause.
final words, guys. We're just saying random crap right now. So let's wrap this one up. Let's get this episode under wraps. Final words.
I feel
Tim?
bad for the guy who has to come up with a title and thumbnail for this episode.
Yeah, what did we talk about?
That's good. Yeah.
No, let's say something really crazy right now, and that could be the title.
No.
Okay.
The end of sports cards.
Is never coming.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
All right. How about you
come
say
up
no
with something.
bangers on 3? How about we get one of
Okay.
these? Right.
Best podcast on Sports Card Podcast. Best
You're doing a great job. Keep going, Tim.
Sports Card Podcast
Yes.
on the internet.
Sports
allegedly.
Sports COD podcast. Sport what?
No Bangers on 3. 1, 2, 3. No
No
Bangers.
bangers. You guys better have done it.